All right, number 11, we want to find the zeros of the following function. So it's just a normal quadratic equation, but it's in terms of w, f of w. And we have w squared plus 11w, and then plus 30. Okay, so the best way, the fastest way to solve it is to see if it will factor. So first number times the last number will give you 30, and then the factors of 30 will be 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and then 5 and 6. The second sign is positive, so it says we want to add these numbers to see which one gives us 11. And that would be 5 plus 6 will give us 11, so it will factor. We're going to do 2 sets of parentheses, and then we're going to put a w in front of each, so we're separating that w. And then we're going to put the 5 and 6 at the back, the numbers that we found out we use. And then going left to right, the first sign is positive. Sorry, when I'm supposed to be a 6. Wrote 5 twice. So going left to right, the first sign is the sign of the bigger number, so that would be the 6, so it would be w plus 6. The second sign is positive, telling us that both of these signs will be the same. So if that one's positive, this one is also positive. Okay, so it wants to know what the zeros are, so we're going to set each of these terms equal to 0. So w plus 5 equals 0, and w plus 6 equals 0. Subtract 5, we get w equals negative 5, and subtract 6, we get w equals negative 6. So our zeros are negative 5 and negative 6. All right, number 12, also we have a quadratic function that they want us to solve. Now, it's not quadratic exactly, but we will solve it like a quadratic, which you'll see. So any problem that has 3 terms similar to a quadratic, even though this power is much bigger, so we have an x to the 4th, quadratic is a 2nd degree, this is a 4th degree, this will still be able to be solved like a quadratic. The relationship that you want to notice is whatever your middle variable is, as long as the leading term is double that, it will still work like a quadratic. So it could be 3 and 6, it could be 5 and 10, any relationship to where this is double or this one is half of what your leading term is. All right, that being the case, we're going to still solve it like factoring. 1 by factoring 1 times 90, and then the factors of 90 that we'll add to give you 19. Okay, so instead of me listing all of them, I'm just going to do 10 times 9, because I know that 10 times 9 will give me 90, and if I add those, I get 19. You know you add because of the second sign. All right, so those will factor, 2 sets of parentheses. Now, in this case, you're not just putting one x, you're putting x squared, whatever that middle term is. It's kind of like that, what you're looking at. But you're splitting up this x to the 4th. You're splitting that up. So this will be x squared, actually. X squared here and x squared here. And then at the back, we put the 10 and the 9. And then going left to right, the bigger sign will be negative, so that will be the 10. And then this one tells me they're both the same. So this one will also be a negative. Now, from this point, we're going to set them equal to 0 and solve. So I have x squared minus 10 equals 0. This one can be done 2 ways. You can just set it equal to 0 and solve, or you might also notice difference of squares, which you can factor that again. This guy will become x plus 3 and x minus 3. But even if you don't see it, I'm just going to set it equal to 0 and solve, and you'll get the same 2 answers. Minus 9 equals 0. So you would add 10, so you have x squared equals 10, and then you would do the square root of both sides. So this would become x, and then when you do square root, positive or negative, you got to remember that. So we get x equals positive or negative square root of 10. Okay, and then over here you add 9, so you get x squared equals 9, and then you square root here and you get positive or negative, but this time 9 is a perfect square, so you get x equals positive or negative 3, okay, which you would see if you did the difference of squares as well. So this time we're going to list all of those. So I'm just going to do plus or minus 10, and then I'm going to do 3 and negative 3. So we got 4 real answers this time.